Hello and welcome to the Todoist channel. My name is Naomi and today we are going to delve into the science behind analysis paralysis. And most importantly, many tactics, 11 in fact, of how you can overcome it. The irony is, if you Google analysis paralysis, you will be served 1,330,000 results. Analysis paralysis is whenever you spend a little bit too much time or a lot too much time researching, overthinking, overanalyzing, and trying to come up with the best possible outcomes for what it is that you're trying to achieve without taking any action whatsoever. It often occurs whenever you're feeling overwhelmed by the amount of options that you have before you, ways of doing something, what the potential outcomes could be. It also has a lot to do with fear, but we're going to dive into that in a second. The result of analysis paralysis, however, ain't so great. So it can lead to feelings of inadequacy, indecision, procrastination, and ultimately that stuck feeling that we all hate, where we sort of know where we want to get to, but we're really having a bit of a struggle in getting ourselves there. So why does analysis paralysis even happen? Well, there are many reasons, but we've narrowed down the three main ones to really help you see if any of these resonate. Number one, and it's a big number one, is fear. And that could be fear of making the wrong decision. It could be fear of failure in what it is you're trying to achieve, or it could even be fear of success, which is actually a thing. Number two is perfectionism, or identifying as a perfectionist, which can sometimes stall you in that place of wanting to make the best possible choice in order to achieve the perfect outcome. And then number three, we're all familiar with, which is information overload. That is definitely something that I feel is just becoming more and more and more. There is no shortage to the amount of information you can consume on pretty much any topic today. So all of these factors are going to contribute to you having that stuck feeling, analysis paralysis, and not making any progress towards your goals. So what do you even do? So how to overcome analysis paralysis? I have 11 steps that I can share with you that might help you get that momentum that you need to really get toward those goals that you want to achieve. First up is reduce decision fatigue. You want to minimize or eliminate as many other decisions that you could possibly make on the days or times in which you're going to be working towards this goal. So that might be meal prepping, that could be choosing clothing the night before, it could be being as prepared as possible for all of the other things that you have going on with your life in that time. Next up is limit your information. Maybe give yourself a container for just how much research you want to do into a specific project. It's not to say that if you encounter problems, you can't look up other things as you go, but the point is to not try and do all the information researching up front and put yourself in that place of stalling to even start. You can limit your information by having a time restricted limit where you say, I'm going to do 2 hours research maximum. You could have a volume limit restriction where you say, well, I'm just going to trust these specific resources and trusted resources and I'll stick with those. Or you could even have a tab limit, which is something I do not practice myself, but apparently single tabbing is a thing. Set a deadline. You might be familiar with Parkinson's law because it gets stated everywhere, but it is that the work that you decide to do will fill the time that you allot to do it. So if you give yourself a deadline, it prevents you from taking hours, days, weeks, months, years to achieve something because you've given yourself all of this time to actually do it. Setting a deadline is going to create that sense of urgency and help you to prioritize the goal that you want to achieve. Why are you doing this in the first place? And that question is not supposed to elicit some kind of existential anxiety. It is more to try and help you align the goal that you're trying to achieve with your most important goals and your values. Get out of your own head. This is something that I have had to actively try to do over the years, which is oftentimes you can get into this cycle of thinking, but actually externalizing it and confiding in a friend, a mentor, a coworker, a partner, someone that you trust where you can really be truly honest with them, really does help you to see things from a different perspective. Just don't let those talks become analysis paralysis in and of themselves. Have the talk, get it off your chest, and then take the action. Have an iterative mindset. Understand that making mistakes is part of the process, and you're going to learn, and it's going to give you feedback, and you're going to adjust what you're doing as you go. So instead of fearing failure, see it as an opportunity for growth. Embrace the 80-20 rule, otherwise known as the Pareto principle. This is when you spend 20% of your time focusing on tasks that you know are going to yield around 80% of the results. This way, you'll be spending your time and your energy more efficiently. This one is somewhat of a mantra for me personally, which is done is better than perfect. Remind yourself that it is better to complete a task with some flaws than it is to never complete it or accomplish it at all. Break tasks into smaller steps. So taking a big, scary task and breaking it down into, well, what's the next thing I have to do to move towards it? And then what's the next thing that I have to do to move towards it? And going in that linear fashion is, to the best of your knowledge and as best as you can project, can sometimes make these huge tasks feel that little bit more easy to achieve because you're just focusing on the next thing. Practice mindfulness. Now, hear me out, because all the productivity fans are probably going to be like, ugh, major eye roll, right? Practice mindfulness. Now, a lot of that is just down to when you get yourself worked up about something that you want to do, taking the time to actually just unwind, get the shoulders down, take a few breaths, maybe take a break, go outside, spend some time in the outdoors if you can, make a cup of tea or coffee, just something that's gonna get you the nervous system to calm down and get you into that place of like, okay, I can handle this, rather than trying to work through anxiety in order to achieve something. The last one is just decide and commit. This one can be tough. It is a little bit of tough love, but sometimes it's better to just make a decision and start taking action, then make another decision and keep taking action. Whenever we start this hamster wheel of indecision, the analysis paralysis kicks in and you feel like you can't make a step forward until you've actually found the right thing to do. But the hard truth is that oftentimes in the beginning, we don't even know what the right thing to do is. So you just got to go with what you think is the best thing in that moment, decide and commit. Good old James Clear says it best. You're bound to feel uncertain, unprepared and unqualified. But let me assure you of this. What you have right now is enough. You can plan, delay, and revise all you want, but trust me, what you have now is enough to start. It doesn't matter if you're trying to start a business, lose weight, write a book, or achieve any number of goals. Who you are, what you have, and what you know right now is good enough to get going. So the bottom line of this whole video, everything that I've said, all 11 steps, is take action. Don't finish this YouTube video and then go and watch another YouTube video on analysis paralysis. Just go and find the thing that you want to achieve and look for the next possible action step that you can take towards it. Even if it's not mapping the whole thing out just yet and you just want to take just the next little step, that action is going to gather you momentum towards the next action and the next action. And then before you know it, you will have achieved what you have set out to achieve. This video was actually based on an article that we have on Todoist.com that goes into a lot more depth in this topic. It also has 4 not so obvious ways that overthinking is actually preventing you from taking action. I'll leave the link in the description box below. I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.